Xin cảm ơn thầy Đường. Good morning. This part is going to be entirely in English so that everyone in our audience may understand. At this point, please join me on a personal journey across the Pacific Ocean back into time before many of you were born. Tuesday, April 29th, 1975. Saigon, the capital city of South Vietnam, is under siege, with more frequent rocket attacks and with confirmed reports that North Vietnamese communist troops are approaching the city. We are under a 24-hour curfew, with only military personnel and emergency responders allowed on the streets. By nightfall, shoot first, ask later is the warning. Around 10 p.m., my father, a commander in the South Vietnamese Navy, realizes the urgency and initiates an immediate evacuation. My mother dresses us 4 young children in ragged clothes, reminding us that if captured, we are not to disclose any information regardless of the threats. And in the presence of strangers, we are to pretend not to have a father. Oh no, I protest. I'm very proud of Dad. Look at how many of these medals I'm bringing with me. Horrified and frustrated, my mother insists, please just do what I tell you to do, otherwise you're going to get us killed. Storming out of the room, I yell back in defiance. If I grow up to be dishonest, it will be all your fault. In mostly darkness, we venture out on foot toward the Saigon River through many checkpoints. Around midnight, we eventually reach the harbor with only 2 landing ships or tanks remaining. Because of the strong current, our small boat cannot get onto or near the first ship. So we struggle to climb up the cargo net over on the sides of the second ship, which is more damaged than the first one. With the sounds of machine guns and artillery getting closer and closer, some houses and gas stations along the banks of the river explode, lighting up the sky. In desperation, thousands and thousands of others are also trying to escape. As the ship moves slowly away, overflowed with people, I stare at our flag in front of the Navy headquarters, waiting for teardrops that would not come, feeling very confused and empty. Through several storms at sea, we continue our search for freedom, suffering from emotional shock, hunger, and thirst. Eventually and fortunately, the U.S. 7th Fleet comes to our rescue with food, water, and medical supplies as we head for the Philippines. A condition by the Filipino government for entering Subic Bay is for us to transfer power to the U.S. Navy, as South Vietnam is no longer recognized internationally as a country. We no longer have a homeland to which we could return safely. Wednesday, May 7th. Around noon, everyone on our ship is asked to stand at attention for the South Vietnamese national anthem. An American lieutenant appears with a U.S. flag, a shotgun is fired, and a Vietnamese sailor trembles as he lowers our flag. The young people sing proudly and loudly, while some in the older generations collapse. Dad, what is going on? Why is this happening? With tears in his eyes and hand on my shoulder, my father replies softly, "You are too young to understand." At the age of 12, I was too young to understand the causes of the war or the forced sacrifices of those fighting for our freedom. I was old enough, though, to understand the benefits of gratitude and the need for change, particularly when facing adversity. Soon, I grew to embrace the challenges of learning a new language and culture. Later, to be amazed by the tenacity and accomplishments of fellow refugees. And in 1980, to be inspired by this school's mission to preserve the Vietnamese language and culture. I no longer feel confused or empty. Thank you, my beloved parents. Thank you for those who fought for our freedom. Thank you, America. And cảm ơn trường Việt ngữ Hùng Vương.